Hi, I am Naida Abbas and welcome to the Warehouse 41 experience. Today I will be showing you how to make your own bracelet. So let us begin. Alright, so today you guys are going to make a bracelet made of different findings and elements which you can purchase for yourself. You don't need to have any jewelry maker experience in the beginning. For this project, you will need cutters, set of pliers, which is big nose plier, round pliers, and flat nose pliers. And that's the only set of tools you will need. Now, in terms of findings and other elements to create this bracelet, you will need beads. They can be crystal, they can be artificial or natural stones, some pearl Swarovski, for example, or glass beads. It doesn't matter. It's all up to your preferences. The sizes in millimeters of these beads are in between, starting from 4 millimeters diameter up to maximum 12 millimeter diameters. More than that, in terms of size, is more suitable for necklaces or some big pieces. But for the bracelet, the size is very good. Apart from that, you will need findings like charms, for example, metallic charms, which also have different shapes, and that's again up to your preferences. So we will need up to 5 different charms to complete your project. Also, we will need pins, which have different function. Some of them are stoppers like this one, and some of them have a round hat pins like the small ones, which I'll show you how to use. We also will need small jump rings, and we will need bigger jump rings to assemble our bracelet together. You will need 20 centimeters chain, you will need sizing chain, and you will need a clasp for that, and some decorating balls, but that is again up to your preferences. All right, so once you have all your ingredients to make your bracelet, my suggestion would be to make some kind of pre-designing stage where you choose the beads you want to use for your bracelet, and also the distance you want to put, color theme, where your charms and what charms are going to be there. I like, for example, a key shape, maybe heart shape, let them be kind of next to each other, and some beads which look like balls or bells otherwise, and distribute them evenly so that they don't gather in one area, and creating at the same time some kind of interesting pattern. And once you've done it, you will know then how many beads you need, so you can then focus on this area, and which will make your work more productive. The variation of small and big and medium will add some interest to your design. Rather than using only small or only big, this combination I find more interesting. Okay, and this stage we need to assemble it and put this all together by using stoppers, pins, like these ones, for example, jump rings, small ones, to attach that to the chain. Now, let me show you how do we put and assemble it together using this particular bead, a pin with a bead. I'm going to place it inside, make sure that it goes in. And because it has a stopper, your bead is not going anywhere, it's there. What I also do sometimes, I use metallic bead on top of it, which will add a nice decorative element to your crystal bead. At this point, you will need to take flat pliers and hold it just in the beginning like so. Now with the pressure of my thumb from one side and bending it 90 degrees on the other side with the pliers. You see how I'm holding pliers like this, so my grip is very strong. Now what you will need to count, you need to count about 7 millimeters up to 1 centimeter maximum. You can hold it in the beginning. You maybe will need to measure it a few times, and then you will be able to do that automatically. Your eye will get used to see that. You can see here I'm just stepping about 2 to 3 millimeters, and this is how much I need only to create a loop. So once you cut, and again please point down. I'm also holding with my 2 fingers. You don't have to, but make sure it's shooting down, not up. You will have the pin with a 90-degree angle. At this point, and this is something you really have to watch out carefully, you will need to squeeze with round pliers, step by step, 1, 2, rolling it in the opposite direction, 3, 4, 5. Now, important part is that the end of the wire has to be really close. There should not be any spaces. Sometimes the hook can be kind of twisty. This is where you go back to your flat pliers, and by squeezing like so, you make sure that it's straight. So this is done. And like this, we need to make all the other crystal or artificial pearls beads, the same exactly manner, which I'm going to do right now. You can also work conveyor system. What I mean by that, once you have your beads distributed, you know how many of them. This is where then you take your stoppers and just go one by one. First, we insert the bead inside of the stoppers, all of them. Once you've done that, then you can decide if you want to put decorative beads, you do that. If you don't want to, then you don't. All right, next step is we're going to create a 90-degree angle on all the pins. Okay, at this stage what we need to do is to cut about 7 millimeters to create a hook, all of them again. You also need to make sure that the distance is not less than 7 to 1 centimeter, 7 millimeter to 1 centimeter, because if it's too small, then what can happen is, as you will be bending this wire into the loop it can might happen that it's too small, it does not go inside of the other jump ring, so better to be a little bit bigger than smaller. All right, now at this stage we're going to create hooks on all of them using round pliers, catching the very, very tip of the wire step by step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close it like so. No space whatsoever. And again, and again, and again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes there's something like that can happen. Then what you need to do is just unbend slightly, push it inside of the round pliers, and finish the job. All good. Sometimes you need to correct it like so, squeeze it, and sometimes you don't have to. You just need to observe it, what's happening, the end result, and then act upon that. All right, so we've done this. Again, distribute where it's supposed to be. This time I would do this. Straighten it and create a pattern. How do you want them to be distributed and where your charms are going to be. Metallic charms are those ones as well. So like I said, big, small, medium, variety. This is something will make your jewelry piece much more interesting than if you would use only one size or one color. And this one I will leave it for the end of the chain. I'll show you later. Alright, so once you have that, we need to attach all our links to the chain. And for that, we will need jump rings. Let me show you how we assemble it together. Now, the jump rings are coming already half open, like so. In order to close them, you need to use 2 flat pliers by catching the end of the opening part and lifting it and putting it down, like so, and back. Now, one thing you should never do, that would be wrong thing to do, a common mistake to avoid, is to some people in the beginning, they're opening or trying to open like this and then trying to push it back, and that is not going to happen. So really avoid this kind of mistakes. You're not going to use it. And the right way to do it once more, when you need to catch on one end like so, catch on the other like so, and then push it against each other. Sometimes you can hear, and that would be right indication when you are pushing towards another, and you can hear the click, and that little click sound will let you know that the jump ring is completely closed. It's not going to open. But of course we need to open it first and then insert the bead. Let me show you how. Open, insert your made bead inside, and in this way it's ready to be assembled to the chain. For example, let me show you, like so. Once you're done, it's important to push it back like so, no space whatsoever, and this way you assemble. Now you can count and always try to keep on the same level. Like for example, if I would attach one bead here and the other one on top, what's going to happen is it will be rotating, turning, and it's not going to be comfortable. And therefore, I would really recommend if you keep assembling on one side only, on the links on the chain itself. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to assemble on one, skip another one, so it's not going to be too busy, and then assemble on the second one, on the skip one, and then next one. So every second one is going to be razzle dazzled with a bead or a charm. Now, for example, some charms are very big, and therefore they need bigger jump ring to be flexible on the chain. Therefore, I'm going for bigger jump rings, so they will be freely moving as you will be wearing your bracelet. Okay, now at this point I have to check if it is my size, and therefore I need to check if I need to go any further or it's actually enough. So this is what you need to do. Also, you have to consider that your clasp will take a space, your jump ring will take a space, right? So you will need to take this will take about 1.5 centimeter extra, and therefore the chain has to be a bit shorter overall than your wrist. Well, my wrist is very small, but if I'm doing it for my mom, for example, I could leave it at that length. Now, talking about length, is the small size would be 16 centimeters long, 18 is medium size, and 20 is a large. So this number will help you, this indication will help you to create your own collection of bracelets. If you want to make small, medium, large, you need to keep in mind 16, 18, and 20 millimeter length, centimeters, sorry. So now I'm ready to assemble it, and what I need to do that to complete my project, I have to assemble it attached together, jump ring with a jump ring, clasp on one side, and the sizing chain on the other side. If I want to make it, if I want to make it longer or shorter, then the sizing chain will help me to do that. Make sure that there is no space whatsoever, because if there is, your elements are going to just fall apart. There you have it. One second. So there you have it. If I want to wear by myself, I can do that, because this chain is going to help me by holding the chain like so. Sizing chain. I can wear this bracelet without anybody's help. And there you have it. That was it. Now you know how to make a bracelet. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon again.